going to go ahead and start the meeting now that it's officially 3 o'clock. I see some more people coming in, and so I just wanted to do a quick intro. Most of you guys know me by now, right? Sheila, I'm the director of distributors here to support you guys and help you be successful. Pam's going to be co-hosting with me. She has many years of experience in network marketing, not really multi-level marketing. You do have experience in that too, but just good old-fashioned network marketing, face-to-face marketing. So that's the topic of our discussion today. We want to really dive in and kind of have a group think and a brainstorm session with you all and bounce ideas off of each other. We have some questions that rolled in through the email blast that I sent out that we do want to address. So Patty, my goodness, I need to stop looking at you. I'm sorry. Pam will address those first. And then if you have anything that you want to inject, or you have a little bit more to add to that, maybe a new idea, that is perfectly fine. Go ahead and jump in. Let's try not to talk over each other, and then also keep it brief. Without further ado, Pam, would you like to take it away?
Sure. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much. I wanted to, Sheila wanted me to talk a little bit about my experiences with networking, basically one-on-one. I do want to say that I, as well as David Dewhurst, wave, David. David, also, he's been with the company for a couple of years as well, pretty much almost as long as me. And he does a lot of one-on-one networking as well. And he is extremely successful in it. There are so many ways that you can do this one-on-one if the computer isn't exactly what you want to do, or it's not your forte. Some of the things that I did, I was in real estate, still am in real estate with my husband. Another one of our side hustles that we do, but we've been in business for 16 years. We've never advertised online. We don't buy ads. We don't do any of that. We have a website through HAR, but that's because it's given to him. But basically, I was part of the social team. I was doing the networking and the advertising in the community while he was taking care of business things. I would be part of like Women's Council of Realtor. They had, a meeting every month that I was a big part of. I joined one of their community outreach committees. I was a co-chair for 5 years. So we volunteered in the community, set up projects every year. We were one-on-one with people. I volunteered at my kids' schools, being the room mom or the grade level coordinator, and just being one-on-one with the community and families. We've built a lot of successful things just by doing that, rather than if being on the computer isn't exactly what you're looking for or your forte, because I know it's not for everybody. So David also has a lot of experience in that. He does a lot of networking. He's part of the chamber. He's a minister. So he's heavily involved in the community, and it just depends on, what you're comfortable with and what your specialty or forte is. Because I don't think there's just one way to do it. There are certain.
I'm sorry, really quick to kind of round that out. With all of that being said, are you saying we should go like look for in-person communities to be a part of? Like you were talking about being part of all of these different groups, and how David is also a part of like the chamber and all of that. Do you feel like that is crucial to your success in your other businesses?
I believe it was crucial to my success in my other businesses, but again, I'm not everybody, and everybody has a different way of doing things. It's just another way of looking at something and another option, which is really great. You can do both as well. I like doing online, as Sheila has seen. and as well as I like doing in, one-on-one in person. So for me, a combination works great, but what may not, what is great for me may not work for other people. So, but it's another great option, something to think about.
Yeah,
So,
so I would actually like to open this up to everyone. Well, I know all of you have different histories with different businesses in the past. You guys have been around the selling block for a while. And my question regarding what everything that Pam just said, I said it right that time, is what have you guys done in the past, whether it's joining certain groups or anything else in the community that has been successful to your personal business?
Well, be sure to shut me off when you need to. The one thing that has helped my businesses and has helped me through the many years is being introduced to an organization called Rotary. And there's a Rotary Club in just about every community. And I was a member of the Grand Prairie, the community Rotary Club, up until about 4 or 5 years ago. I resigned from that club and I joined another club called the Internet Rotary Club, which is a internet-based club, an e-club, which I'm able to go to any Rotary Club now, which I still could have as a community club member, but as an internet Rotary Club member, I can go to on Zoom, I can go to other clubs, and I can build my circles of influence just for being in that organization. And so there's other clubs. There's like Lions clubs, and I understand that Lions, they also have an internet-based club as well as community clubs. But that was a group that when, for example, I'll be going to Birmingham, Alabama, and Montgomery, Alabama this spring. And I've already looked up the clubs and when they meet so that when I'm in those communities, I can walk in the door and have breakfast, lunch, or dinner. It could be a supper club. You walk right in and it's instant love. There's just a community of Rotarians. And what I've been able to do is that when asked, and always, they'll ask your vocation. And so when I tell somebody what I do, I'll say, well, my vocation is construction. My avocation is service, but my passion is health and wellness. What would you like to know? And so they're going to ask something about what I do, and they're always going to ask about health and wellness since it's already in the news every day.
Right. Perfect. That was great. Thank you. Pam, what were you going to say?
Actually, no, that was great. I was just going to say there are also different things. I was going to just add on the groups with like the WCR. I know they look for the Women's Council of Realtors. I wanted to add that we all know realtors. Realtors are a great source of referral because they deal with families one-on-one, like because we've been in real estate for years. Our job is to deal one-on-one with families. We go show them homes. We get to know their kids. We get to speak with them for hours and hours. They're a huge referral source, and realtors know, they want to know the latest. And when they find something that's good, they love samples. Yeah, I just wanted to add that was a great referral source, and that they have sponsored. They have sponsors at different meetings to where you can pay and you can actually speak and leave your literature and have actual floor time with all the members during the meeting. And then they also have guest speakers where they come in a couple times a year where you don't have to pay and you'll get a few minutes to speak. But it's all just depends, different options for what you feel like.
Yeah. So it's not necessarily a health and wellness group that you're saying you need to network with. It's like with Mike, he's going to a Rotary Club and talking about maybe 3 possible different avenues of his income. You're recommending doing the same thing, becoming a guest speaker with a number of clubs and kind of making it a point to get yourself out there in that way and make connections organically that way, face to face. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, it really does work. And like Mike said, everybody's really starting to be more aware of health and wellness, and realizing that kind of natural is looking more the way to go.
Yeah,
So,
and
and
I
these
know.
packets, I'm sorry, these packets are going to change everything as well.
Oh yeah, do you want to talk about packets for a second? One of our questions was with Happy Packets, how do you, what's the best way to share those without losing your hat on them, whatever the term is, the phrase is. But I know a lot of our distributors, you know, you want to know the best way to share without just forking out a bunch of money giving away free product. So Pamela, can you talk on that?
Well, yes, ma'am. I understand, but luckily, because the cost for us is, we do need to look at it as a business, and the investment wise, I think the Happy Packets they're a great investment for the cost. And my plans, particularly, what I'd like to do is, because I have a lot of experience in the medical field. I was a dental hygienist for 10 years, and then I was going to become a dentist. I'm a holistic practitioner now. So what I plan on doing is visiting the different wellness stores and chiropractor offices, things like that, and deliver with my business cards and with half-page flyers, just some sample packets and Canadoggy sample packets for the staff there, because I know working in a medical office, we were always interested on new and latest things and samples, and just popping in with your elevator pitch, with your business information, with samples for the staff. The product will speak for itself, and the cost is really, it's minimal as far as I'm concerned. It does still cost you, but I feel it's a great investment.
Yeah, I'd like to piggyback off of that because I get the pleasure of speaking with all of you a lot. So I get to hear your different ideas and how you're, furthering your business. One of the things that I spoke to somebody about, I can't remember who exactly it was now, but they were putting labels on the back of the Happy Packets and trying to get them into like a candy jar, like a gumball machine type jar in tattoo parlors or boutiques, having it on the counter, asking if they could do a trade for, can I put my gum machine thing on your counter for 2 weeks and see how it goes? Or, you can always come to a compromise that way, but kind of going outside of smoke shops or where you think that people would normally buy this, because there are boutiques or like tattoo parlors or, a mom and pop shop in your local town. I know we were talking about being from the small towns in our little group before we officially started. And there may be people in your small town that are willing to put your stuff on their countertops. So that's an idea, but let's throw it over to Art real quick.
I just living in a small community. I know everybody. I've been in business most of my adult life. And so I just go in and talk to people. I call people and say, hey, I've found something that's new and it's helpful, and I got some free samples of it. What do you think? And everybody goes, yeah, sure, that's fine. Of course, if you live in a larger area, it might be more difficult, but I've just always felt that word of mouth it's just, it's who knows who. That's the best procedure I've ever found.
So I have a question to follow up on that one, Art.
Yeah.
So you give out free samples. Do you have a set way that you like to follow up? Do you keep track of the people you give free samples to or anything like that?
Yeah. In fact, the first samples I handed out were the regular hemp paste, and then I got the mint, the packet of mint Happy Packets, and I emailed everybody I gave those packets to, and they said, hey, guess what? We have mint flavored hemp paste. I think I prefer it. you want some free samples. That's how I've done it.
Okay. Yeah. The power is in the follow-up. And I think that's what a lot of, what I've been hearing is that a lot of people are like, well, I'm putting stuff out there and I'm not getting any response, or, I tell people about it and I don't hear from them. And, research shows that it takes at least 5 times for somebody to reach out to get a yes response. So keep trying. And really who said it? The power is in the follow-up. That's not it, but basically the follow-up is key. So
but people have busy lives and they get involved in other things. And while it may be something that they were interested in and kind of excited about, there are other things in their lives. So I think it's up to us to be that little reminder.
And it's not just that though. It's also like with the story of the girl with the migraines. I challenged her to 14 days of taking the happy packets consistently. And I gave her 5 packets. They lasted her all 14 days because she ramped up from a smaller dosage to a larger dosage by the end of the 14 days. And I checked in with her on day 8 just to see how she was doing because I hadn't heard anything. And it took me the action of following up for her to realize that, oh man, I haven't had a debilitating migraine that severely affected her life every day before that. It took her hearing from me to realize I haven't had a migraine in 8 days.
Yep.
So some people are just like that too, where you do need to remind them, hey, you were feeling this way when we first started talking. And now how are you feeling? Are those symptoms still relevant? So I have another distributor who's making a survey for her specific group of people that she wants to do the challenge with, and say this specific group of people and their specific questions that pertains to them and their ailments, and then giving the same survey at the end of the challenge period to see if because that really connects with people and they're like, oh man, I see the power in it now. So I would encourage you guys to do the follow-up. Yes, Art.
Can you hear me?
Just
I
just have a quick thought,
Brad, but go ahead, Art.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just have a quick thought. That's so good, because as I start to take hemp paste, I have to remind myself, or my wife has to remind me that, hey, something's happening. It doesn't always dawn on me that my life is changing and I'm feeling better. So if we were to intervene like that with the people that we've contacted, so that is really, really helpful, really beneficial. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Brad, what were you going to say?
Well, what's funny is you'll give a happy packet to somebody and they forgot they had it. They'll like, oh yeah, it's in my purse, or it's in my refrigerator because it's so small. And so that's part of the equation too. And
that's why I really favor the challenge portion of it. People like to be challenged. They like to be held accountable for a certain short amount of time. So if you can challenge them to 5, 10, 14 days, that's you can do it in several ways, but that's a very small amount of time people can stay consistent, and it gives you a reason to reach out to them. They can be expecting you to reach out to them instead of you kind of cold calling them. And I've seen people do it where you give them for free, but if you're kind of hurting for money, then I understand that. You can also have them put some skin in the game and say, hey, for $10, you can be a part of my 2-week challenge, and you can give them enough happy packets and they're paying for your time as well, to reach out to them. So that's kind of on the more business side of things. If you wanted to charge for it, just say $10 cash or Venmo or whatever, and then you can provide those resources for them. All right, Pam. Oh, I'm sorry, Patty, what'd you have?
I was just going to say that even as an online, if you're doing online, maybe accept like 5 people for the challenge, and then like ask them, first 5 people that respond. And if you choose to order, you'll get 20% off your first order or something.
Yes.
Like an incentive like that, but, with the stipulation that they have to fill out the questionnaire. And, so just to kind of throw another layer of fun on top of it.
Yeah, the incentive is huge.
Mm-hmm.
Art, did you have something to add to that?
Real quick question. People go on our website and they order. They can use the codes, the promo codes, or is that something we have to do for them?
No, they can, if you give them a promo code like
Okay.
Vienna Hemp
Okay.
Roast or something, then they
Yeah,
can
of
use
course.
that when they log in.
All right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And just a reminder, we give you these in December 31st. I'll be sending out another batch of coupon codes for you guys, and I'll try to keep those in every newsletter so that they're top of mind. But if you have a specific sale that you want to put out and you don't want a coupon code that's going to last for 4 months, then you can just contact me anytime and I can make a specific code for you for a set number of days. And that way, you know that you're not going to give a discount when you don't want to.
That's good. That's good.
Okay. What was the next question? Oh, no, Pam or Mike, go ahead.
There, I got to unmute myself. The happy packets, how much product comes in each packet?
Brad, you want to do that one?
The machine we have that fills up every jar is accurate. But when you try to put just a teeny bit in it, it's for some reason the machine doesn't work right. It's meant for like bottles and stuff like that. So what we did is I calibrated the machine to put the minimum of 100 milligrams in the packet. And sometimes it has 150 in it. So just pre-warning, if you hand a happy packet to somebody, always remind them to take about 3 pea-sized scoops, 2 or 3 or whatever, it depends on, you kind of evaluate who you're handing it to. But if they eat that whole packet and it's 150 milligrams, they're going to get a CBD buzz for sure. Yeah.
It's a good and bad thing too.
Yeah. Say what?
Well, I'm saying it's good and it's bad on our part because we're losing money on product, but it's good for our customers and for you, it's more cost effective as the distributor if you are giving these away for free, and you can tell people this should last you at least 2 days.
Yeah.
Now, Brad, one thing that I have found out is that when you're dealing with someone with some significant pain issues, herniated disc issue, just the other day, a fellow was walking right by me at Home Depot, right? And I just asked him, I said, sir, you look like you're hurting. And he was. And I said, I take something for my pain. May I share it with you? And he said, well, what do you take? And it just started.
That's awesome.
Just started the conversation going. So I didn't have anything at the time, but this gentleman was in so much pain. I wish I had my whole 2,000 milligram jar, right? And what I have found is that with the prospects that I'm talking to that have the herniated disc pain where they're not taking any narcotics, they're hurting. You can see how they walk. They're in pain.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that because the last 4 prospects that I got on the pace, I tell them, eat it like it's free. I said, I want you taking, and in their particular case, I wanted them taking 150 milligrams a day.
Wow.
And I wanted them to take all 150 milligrams per day for the first 15 days. And I've been doing that challenge. I said, just let me know. Let me know what happens. And my very dear friend, my next door neighbor, 85-year-old, just was doubling over in the pain. And so I had a jar. I said, and his name's Buck. I said, Buck, take my pace. You got to take this, but you've got to take it the way I tell you to. You've got to eat it like it's free. I want you taking a big old scoop, put it under your tongue, leave it there for 5 minutes. When it's dissolved, take another scoop, do it 3 to 4 times a day. And in 10 days, he came out, he was pulling his back like this, getting in his boat, going fishing for the weekend. And I had to ask him if he had a date. He did not. But
that's funny.
It's just, some people need to get that, may need to get that buzz, just to make sure they feel something is working.
Right.
And knowing that it's 150 milligrams at times, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that's actually pretty good. To the point to where I don't mind looking at even getting the 500 milligram, right? And just saying, here, take this. If you don't feel anything in 10 days, no, you don't have to pay me for it. If you're feeling something, you buy this and you buy the 2,000 milligrams.
So
that's the challenge.
That's a great challenge.
That's cool.
I also want to kind of put it back into perspective for other people, because we have like Kimberly, who works in a health food store. I'm going to call you out, and is part of a yoga community. And her target market may look much different than your target market, Mike.
Right.
And they may not have the same ailments and pain. So you really want to be aware of who you're speaking with and their size. You can try to guess their nutrition levels, that kind of thing, to understand how much they may need to take. But we recommend always reiterating to them that they need to pay attention to their own bodies. They are their own doctors in this kind of thing, but you still need to take enough to make a difference, like what Mike's saying. So, all right. So we're going to close that discussion, unless Kimberly, you want to mention something. Unmute yourself though.
My question would be about the skincare line, because I'm also an esthetician. I wish that we had a serum that somehow could get out the grittiness of it. So, I mean, I like it as far as the scrub and everything, but yeah.
Brad, what's up?
Okay. On the grit, there are different particle sizes for a purpose. One is it brings out the blood, which draws in the phytocannabinoids into the blood system through the dermal layer.
Yeah.
So when you're talking to people and stuff like that, just say after a little bit of massage and rubbing, it falls off, but it helps stimulate the blood to the surface.
Okay.
So, but I'm thinking about making one that's been filtered just for the people out there that are like, it's cool, the particle sizes, but still, I don't want it.
Yeah.
I already have a friend that's using it, and she doesn't like the particles, and she's an esthetician too. So I'm not trying to complain. I don't mind them. I'm not picky about stuff, but
it's different when it's on your face too. I feel like a lot of the people who use our creams are using it topically as like a targeted pain relief, whereas you're using it as a daily skin routine. And so that is a different product in my opinion. Go ahead, Brad.
Anti-aging, we should do the filtering on, because it doesn't need, that's the one we should filter.
Yes.
More of a liquid if we can get there.
Yeah. So the Palmarosa so the Palmarosa and all the good essential oils in it. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks for bringing that up, Kimberly.
I want a t-shirt. I have to have a t-shirt, because those t-shirts I know is going to help me sell more stuff.
Call us. Sheila, do you have the little guy?
Yeah.
I want him.
Well, I tried to mail out the other one, so his arm's missing. But,
I want some of those.
So these were
great Christmas presents, stocking stuffers.
Yeah, we're prototyping this right now as a Christmas ornament, or a stocking stuffer.
Yes.
That was a pricing phase to see if it's worth it. So this is a prototype. Well, we're gonna wrap this up. Let's go to the next question, Pam, so we can keep going.
I did want to add with the Canadoggy packets, I have found that for some reason, people are more apt, or even more apt, to try it on their dogs first before themselves. I don't really know why, because I personally would want to try it on my animals first before I did it. But I mentioned it to Sheila before that when I speak to people about it, sometimes, they're like, oh, it's, really interesting. And I'll look into it, and then I'll mention it helped my dog, and they'll be all over it, and they'll leave with a sample for their dog.
Yeah.
So that is a great way too, because then they see the results with their dog or their pet. When I plan on giving the mint packets to the humans, I'm always going to ask them, do you have a dog that, or, you know, do you have a pet? I use this on my dog. You know, and if they're interested, then I will also give them a sample of the Canadoggy as well.
That's awesome.
So, and one more thing I want to add before I leave, because I know we're running out of time. Take advantage of the lab reports that are posted on our webpage. I get great responses from those lab reports. They're all there. They're a great resource.
Perfect.
I love them.
All right, David, what were you wanting to say?
Yeah, I was going to say, you know, I use Pam's experience when I'm talking to people about hemp paste because she had a life-changing experience. So I really use that, and I think we can all piggyback off each other. But I gotta say, Pam, I think that's a really cool idea about the pets, because you're right, people will try it out on their pets before anything else. Our cats do eat the hemp paste, you know, the one for the cats. And our dog, I think my wife puts peanuts butter with the one for the dog, who's trying to get in the office actually right now. But I think we should piggyback off each other's experiences, because, you know, I mean, your experience, Pam, how anybody, and I tell people to call Pam, right? Yeah. So that was my point.
Thank you, David. Mike, what did you want to add?
Well, Dave, I was going to mention this earlier, and David just kind of reminded me to bring this up. I sell a story. I don't really sell the hemp paste. I sell the story. And the story is that I herniated my disc L3, L4, L5, S1, and I am not an addict. And that gets the story out in front of them. Why aren't you in pain? Because of this little jar, this magic jar of hemp. I am not in any pain. And if I tweak my back, I just eat it like it's free. And so I sell a story. And when you're selling a story, something that's happened to your life, what this paste has done for you, then it's much easier to sell the product. But the problem is, you're selling a story. You're selling your story. So when they walk away, they're walking away from your story. So that's the only drawback of having a testimonial of a miracle that's happening in your life. What happens when they walk away? It's like, how can they not grasp this? So it's not a shiny whistle, right? It's something that can change a life, and it's changed mine. So that's what I try to get across to people.
Well, and in the same sense, your personal testimony is wonderful. People will 100% respond to that when they're speaking to you.
Yeah.
But Brad didn't have a personal story until 2 months ago, and he's the one that created it, you know? So I want to encourage those people who haven't had their own testimony. Like, I don't necessarily have any chronic pain. Thank the Lord above. I am so glad I don't have chronic pain. But if you don't have a testimony with hemp paste, please don't feel discouraged, because the own creator of hemp paste didn't have a testimony until 2 months ago. And he's been able to tell the story of other people that he's been able to help. So really, that's why I encourage the follow-up so often too. Don't let your people fall off the face of the planet and just, you know, shake it off as a loss. Follow up with them and see how they're doing. And that's why in the first training that we did was I focused so much on creating those connections and adding value to their life, so they feel comfortable coming back to you, so you can use their stories in the future. Brad, did you want to say anything more on that?
I think the genuineness of wanting to help people, and the you have to be sometimes a little bit like mommy or daddy says, hey, bro or sister or Kathy or, you know, whatever their name is, and say, hey, listen to me. I'm telling you, at least 80% of the people on this planet are greatly affected in a great way from the phytocannabinoids. You know, CBD oil is $1 billion business. Why? Because it works. And hemp paste is better because it takes less product and all that other reasons. But I'm a little bit more, I become more pushy because I'm sick of seeing people, like I know that's a strong word, but I'm sick of seeing people sick. I'm tired of them complaining all the time and not taking care of their health. So I'm kind of like, hey, you know what? I'll give this stuff to you for free. And what I want you to do is I want you to follow up with me. It's free, and you can't, I'm not trying to sell it to you today. And if it works for you, you'll be back. That's fine.
Right.
But I'm just really direct with people because I've seen too many miracles in the last 9 years. Yeah.
I would say Brad goes in with the facts, with the CBD oil. We're replacing CBD oil. He goes in with a lot of confidence. And I would say, Mike, I feel that from you too. You go in with a lot of confidence saying, this is what's worked for so many people, if not for yourself. I know that it can help you. I just try it, give it a try. It's going to replace the CBD oil industry. And so I know that's a lot of Brad's success, in my opinion, from what I've seen from you, is that you go in with confidence and you have your elevator pitch down pat. You can talk to somebody, you can talk their ear off about whatever's ailing them. And you know enough about the science behind it to relate to their story and make it more personal. And so I think all of these things are super important. People don't always care about the features of the product. They don't care that it has 400 micron of hemp particles. They don't care that it's made with organic or kosher vegetable glycerin. They may care about that later, but to hook them, they do care about the emotional side of things. So the story, the miracles, the testimonials, all of those types of things are really important.
Yes. Hey, I need to slip something in really fast. Sorry, just a second. My eyes are rolling. Sorry about that.
That's art.
Hey, really fast. Potency. I hear a lot. There's a lot of misinformation on potency. Remember, anybody that's out there saying, I kind of mock they go, whoa, dude, man, this is 99% pure. And the problem with that, and if some of you have heard me say that, is that the more it's concentrated, the more it's damaged. So we want to educate people. It's like vitamin C. You can take any kind of potency of vitamin C. It still does the same thing as long as it's a good vitamin C. Same with hemp. Phytocannabinoids. You don't want to let people go off, this is only 20 milligrams, the jar. It doesn't matter what the milligrams are. It matters what you take. Anyways, go ahead, Roland. There you go.
I forgot my question. It was so interesting. I remember now. Sharing your stories, your testimonials with people, that's cool to do. And like Pam or Mike, how do I find out about them? I would love to hear your testimonial, the story that you generated 2 months ago. And I think sharing those of other people is tremendous, rather than just mine. So I want to know how to access that information from you guys.
So that's perfect. I'm so glad you asked that question, because that's something that I wanted to bring up. We have Google reviews, but Google has changed their algorithm. So it's really, really hard to find those reviews if you don't know where to look. And so while we're so excited to have those reviews, we need to have a more trusty platform. So we've moved everything to trustpilot.com. And I know we have a couple of reviews on there right now, but it's really slow. And it would be so helpful if all of our distributors would tell all of their customers, if they have a testimonial like that, or if they want to review, to go on to trustpilot.com, search for hemp paste and leave a review there. And we only want to have one hemp paste page. So please don't add your own, so that it doesn't get diluted and people don't get confused. We only have that for your benefit, so we want you to be successful. Show them that page, and then it'll be a collective testimonial page of all of our distributors instead of just your business, and maybe you only have one or two. So today, if you could share with your people, go review on trustpilot.com. That's where you can find those. What was the next question?
Trustpilot.com.
Art, was there a second part?
No, thank you. I'd never heard of trustpilot.com until today. So
okay.
Yes,
Yeah, there's, for our online, the essence of our business is online. So we can't go through like Yelp or something like that. So we're trying to find another solution, and that was the best one we found. So
okay, cool.
All right. Does anybody else have any other questions about anything or brainstorm ideas? What's worked for you? Go ahead.
I just last meeting we had, I was wondering, as a person changes their diet or starts taking some medication, oftentimes the process of cleansing causes kill off. We all know about that process. I was wondering, could a person experience anything like that, as the hemp paste is nourishing and cleansing and correcting their physiology?
Who wants to answer that one?
I want to answer that in a different way. And then somebody else, please jump on it too. So in the beginning days, we were doing experiments with Lyme disease patients. And there was there was a lot of evidence showing that it created a Herxheimer. Herxheimer means Herx, means a Lyme disease kill-off, which creates a neurotoxin. And so we were like going, hey, eat all this paste. And they were getting really sick because their body was flooded with dead parasite neurotoxin. And so I found a couple times, if not several times, where people were like, I'm not feeling good after taking the hemp paste. And I said, okay, and we had to do a little investigation. So when you're talking to people and they try the hemp paste and they get sick, ask them, do you have Lyme disease? Because if you do, you're going to feel sick because it kills the Lyme disease. And so get a hold of me on the bigger story of that later on.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Pamela, what were you going to say?
I have something to add if we have time. Art asked about my story. May I share it? Do we have time?
Yep, we have about 10 minutes.
Okay. Quickly, basically what David was saying was he met me. I was a mess. I had migraines starting at the age of 5. They first were only, maybe a couple times a year, but then by the age of 14, they were daily. And then fast forward, they were daily for decades. And I tried everything, CBD oils. I tried just absolutely everything. Was the Mayo Clinic, was in Dr. Diamond Clinic in Chicago. Nobody could help me. The doctors dismissed me. I was having seizures daily. I lost my dental career. I was a dental hygienist and I was going to be a dentist. I completely lost my career. And then I tried the hemp paste. And 5 weeks after I started trying the hemp paste, the seizures stopped. And I have not had one since 4 years later. So you're talking about, I had seizures from the age of 5 to 4 years ago. So I had them for basically 45 years. And to take something for 5 weeks that I've had my whole life and for it to stop is just absolutely miraculous. And it's changed my life. And I will take it forever.
Wow.
How much do you take, Pam?
I started at the 3 a day because I wasn't sure how it was going to be. And then I always listen to my body. But I end up taking it probably about 6 times a day.
Wow.
Because for my seizures, because I use it as a preventative.
Yep.
And it works a lot better as a preventative. And so all these years of knowing exactly what my body was going through, when I started to feel my body start to go into that cycle, I would take the hemp paste and it would stop it.
So you're saying about six times a day of about 30, 40 milligrams or 20 milligrams?
Yeah. It was about 20, 25 milligrams. So basically a dose. Some days it was bad. I'd take 8 times a day.
Well, and see, that's the importance of knowing your own body, knowing how much to take, because there'll be some days that I'll need to take 6 times a day, but I'm taking 100 taking almost 50 milligrams every time, as big as my thumb. So
Right. Right.
but it works. And so that's the cool part.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's good to know.
And there was
Yeah.
one thing that Pam said that I want to highlight too. You've lived your whole life with this ailment, and then you tried hemp paste, and it took 5 weeks for your seizures to stop. And I think that's really important for us to let people know of in this world of instant gratification and ibuprofen fixes everything. We really want to encourage people to stay consistent. It's not going to work if you stop taking it, or if you only take it once every couple of days when you're hurting. Go ahead, Art.
Yeah. Thank you, Pam. Appreciate that so much.
Yes, Pam. Thank you.
Would it be possible to keep in contact? So maybe I could get an abbreviated transcript of that.
You're
because
both
I would
on
like
the Facebook
I would
group.
like to. Huh?
You're both on the Facebook group.
Yeah, I'll post my story on the Facebook group, and then people can share it or look at it or something like that.
Okay.
And also,
And many years ago, mine's on there too somewhere. So I'll get a copy to you.
And I also want to reiterate, I share that with a lot of people because they're worried about overdosing. And I say, okay, well, first of all, I take it 6 to 8 times a day. I only weigh 115 pounds.
Oh, wow.
So I have never OD'd, and the more I take, the better I feel. So when people are hesitant and saying, oh, well, I don't want to take too much of it, I say,
you can't. I will tell you, I did a test one day. I took the 500 milligram jars. I took for 4 days. I ate a whole jar for 4 days because I wanted to see if I would burn a drug test.
Ferrari.
I did not burn the drug test.
Really?
So you're looking at 2,000 milligrams in 4 days and did not pop a test.
That's good to know.
Okay. X factor. Sorry, I got to give something out there really fast for everybody because this is scientific. Okay, imagine an X. Okay, the line going up is accumulation. The line going down is decreasing of inflammation. There are 4 marker points. There's 1.5 hours, 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months, 1.5 hours, 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months. So as time goes on, it depends on your chemistry. Now, seizures always take a lot more dosage by far. Cancer, seizures is the one that bankrupts people in the CBD oil world because our product is half, if not 33% of the market value. So those are all things that you need to keep in your mind.
Thank you.
Go ahead, somebody else. Thanks.
I had a question about the effect, the psychoactive effect that you indicated the person might feel, Mike, and some people don't want that. They're afraid of that.
Well, if you're taking 500 milligrams a day, you're going to get the effect.
Take it at night.
Yes, they'll take it. That's exactly right. So Art, what they'll do is say, well, if you're worried about it and you're taking 150 milligrams a day, take it at night, right before you go to bed.
You have a nice dream.
And hey, Sheila, tell everybody about my grumpiness story.
Oh, yeah. So speaking of tests, we were testing not really a new product, but kind of testing the competition. And Brad was testing some CBD isolate. And so just CBD in powder form. And his wife very kindly requested that he stop doing his tests because he was becoming angry and mean because the CBD was affecting him in a way that he was feeling very anxious and angry. And so we were all like, dude, it reminded me of somebody who has a caffeine withdrawal, who's been addicted for many years. And you're just like on edge, angry. That's what Brad was for a couple of days. So we said no more to that.
So the science behind that real fast is a CBD isolate is one compound out of the 500 that's found in the plant. And because I was taking that one compound, it wasn't having an entourage effect with the other compounds that actually do all the right stuff. And so CBD isolate, people, if they seem edgy, put it this way, if you feel a little bit edgy on the hemp base, could you imagine what CBD isolate's like? I can. Yep.
If you feel edgy on the hemp paste, take the can of chocolate. There's something about the baking process of the chocolate that it always leaves me in a very happy mood. So
It's a girl thing. Chocolate girls,
I
chocolate
don't
girls.
think that's a thing. I think guys are just afraid to admit they like it. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to keep trying to have these live sessions in different forums and all of that so that we all stay current and we can build relationships as distributors. There's enough room at the table for all of us. So as always, our goal is to help people, and my job is to help you help people. So don't feel afraid to email us, write on a Facebook page, send a carrier pigeon, whatever, with any other concerns or support that you need. But just know that we are working on more marketing materials for the online stuff, and we will be working on some offline marketing materials as well. But it does take a little bit of time. So yeah, I'm going to say aloha and mahalo to all of you.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
everybody.
Give us a call if you have another question.
Thank you all, Pamela, Sheila, and Brad. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you,
Thank you.
guys.
Thanks, everybody. It was nice to meet everybody.
You as well.
Yep,
See you
thank
again.
you.